All right, next up, picking at 1-8, we have AFC Fumble. That is American Football Conference Fumble. I have the understanding that you are a Panthers guy, and unfortunately the Carolina Panthers didn't really draft anybody that you'd be looking at in fantasy. I want to say they grabbed a running back late. I think it was Kenjon Barner. So maybe you look at him with your 3-6 or something like that. But at you have the 1-8 draft pick, and let's have a look at your roster so we can see where we think you might want to go there. At quarterback, you have Matt Ryan and Joe Flacco. You have the 2008, I believe it was, the 2008 connection there at QB. The two number one picks who went all the way, took their team into the playoffs their rookie years. You also have Michael Vick and Alex Smith. So really, in quarterback, you don't have one of those studs, but I like Matt Ryan a lot. His numbers have improved each of his first 4 seasons, and I'm not positive that they're going to improve again because he'd have to have a good 5,000 yards and 35 to 40 touchdowns to improve on him. I think he is about to level off in the mid-30s touchdowns and 4,000-something yards, and that is a great quarterback to have. I feel very good about Matt Ryan going into 2013, especially, with another year under his belt with Julio, bringing in a better running back in Steven Jackson. At a running back, things aren't quite as nice, where he really doesn't have one running back starter on his team. Looking across the board, he's got Ahmad Bradshaw, Roy Halou, Sean Green, and Sean Drawn. The pair of Seans are just backup guys. Roy Halou, I actually like quite a bit this year as a buy low guy. If you can grab him for a 3rd-round pick, a lot of people don't really believe much in him. They've cast him aside, but Alfred Morris doesn't catch the ball, and you never know with Mike Shanahan. So I've been buying Halou wherever I can, and I like Roy Halou, but not a guy you're going to have to start every week. Ahmad Bradshaw, well, there's the worry with him is that most of the running back needy teams found their running backs. His best bet would probably be to take his services back to the Giants if they're offering him any kind of deal, although I know they're pretty sold on David Wilson. So if he finds a home that has a spot for him to play significant time, then he's not that bad, but I don't think that he will. I think Bradshaw is going to end up latching on somewhere like, I don't know, Houston or something like that, where he's going to be, a team that has an established runner, and Bradshaw is just a lightning, kind of complement to that runner. So at running back, AFC Fumble needs not 1, not 2, probably honestly 3 running backs. So he's got to be looking to hit with this 1-8 that he has. At wide receiver, he's actually in decent shape at number 1. Mike Wallace is probably more of a 2, but again, he's a starting wide receiver on a fantasy team for sure. He's got Mike Wallace. Josh Gordon he's a hot commodity. A lot of people like Gordon this year, and I'm one of them. I liked what he did last year. If he were in this draft, I'd probably pick him he'd probably be my number 2 receiver off the board. I think I would take him behind Tavon Austin, but I'd take him ahead of anybody else. So, Gordon is a good player, and he's still only just about to turn 22. He's got all the tools, and Whedon will wing it a little bit to him. Denarius Moore is his 3rd wide receiver. He also has Darnario Alexander. Both of them can be good if they can stay healthy. Both of them have shown the ability to be complete and dynamic receivers if they can stay on the field. So maybe one of them stays healthy for him and gives him a good wide receiver 3. I like Jarius Wright. I like Nick Toon as his deep guys. Both of them are in situations where they could perform admirably. They are buried in a depth chart, but they have upside, and the people in front of them don't have nearly as much. Toon is far down the New Orleans depth chart, but he could emerge. There's not really a 3, so he's fighting with Kenny Stills, with Joseph Morgan to be significant there, and he might, he's got the bloodlines for it. Jarius Wright is looking at trying to be Harvin's replacement, but they brought in Cordarrelle Patterson there, so you don't really know what's going to happen with him. He also has Darius Hayward-Bay, who is a wild card in this whole mix. I love his spot in Indianapolis, and I think that people forget he's only 26. He's not old, and he could be very productive there. I really like Hayward-Bay in Indianapolis. I think that's the best place he could have landed. Very good situation for him, and he's one of my sleepers for 2013. I like Hayward-Bay as his probably 4th or 5th receiver to do something pretty good. At quarterback, he has tight end, I should say. He has Kyle Rudolph, who is looking, back at a pretty good season last year, and he's one of the probably the number 5 dynasty tight end or so. So you can feel good about Kyle Rudolph. He also has Cam Jordan, who's a popular breakout candidate at tight end. So who do we pick at 1-8 is the big dilemma for AFC Fumble. And I would probably be looking at the best running back available. Actually, not even probably. You have to go RB with this roster because he's actually got decent quarterback play, pretty good wide receivers, and good tight ends. He just needs at least 2 starting running backs here. And as it stands, he has 0. So I think with the 1-8, I'm hoping one of the big 4 backs fall. That's Le'Veon Bell, Eddie Lacy, Monty Ball, or Bernard's not going to be there. And let's face it, neither is Ball or, you just never know, It's based on what people in front of you need. So if he's fortunate enough to get one of the big 4, I'd run my butt to that podium and make that pick. If none of those are available and you're left with the scraps, I'd be considering Jonathan Franklin. That's, again, you hate to get another backup on this roster, but what's left, there's just no reason to go wide receiver or any other position. I know I'm generally not for drafting for need, but at some point he's got to get some backs in there. So I guess maybe you can consider a wide receiver and then flip that wide receiver or flip Josh Gordon or something for a productive running back. So it's not out of the question to go wide out and grab a Justin Hunter or a Keenan Allen. But if I'm looking to just draft and I'm not a trader, a person who likes to trade, then I'm going to grab, the best running back available. And again, that'd be Franklin or Zach Stacy probably. So good luck with your picks, AFC Fumble. I will say without your running backs, or with your running backs as they stand, I should say, I have a hard time imagining this is a playoff team, but you will be right outside the window, I think. But if you can get a pick that hits or deal some players to grab some running backs that are productive, I think you could make the playoffs because you have a solid team everywhere but running back. So as I said, good luck with your picks, AFC Fumble, and enjoy.